What's up, everybody? Welcome to In Love with Horror. My name is AJ.
I'm Christy.
And y'all, welcome to episode 2, spoiler review for It. Welcome to Derry. This episode was called what again?
The Thing in the Dark.
I know you just told me, but I already forgot. I did. But this was a long episode. It was like an hour and 6 minutes. I felt like we was watching a movie almost with this episode. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they released it a little bit early. They released it for Halloween, so we finally got the chance to watch it. So here's our spoiler review. If you want to see what we thought about episode 1, make sure you check out our podcast, our YouTube channels to check out what we thought about episode 1. But babe, you want to? Are you giving us the rundown for episode 2?
Oh well, I
don't know if you just want to dive into it or what.
Well, what did you think about the episode and overall?
Overall, I thought it was another great episode. I mean, even while we was watching it, I told Chrissy, I was like, man, I looked at her, I was like, I like this show. Like this show is dope.
It's very good.
Yeah, I like the characters. I like the horror of it because it gets very like, I like, because obviously Pennywise always plays off of fears. And I like how they're really playing off of the fears. I like the types of fears and how Pennywise is going after those. I like the way it looks. Mm-hmm. I like the performances, the music, the vibes, to a certain degree, obviously. And obviously the attention to, just the different state of society at that time, from the military state, or political state when it comes to like Cold War and stuff like that, to, the things that deal with racism, like, and then obviously the kid dynamic, like, trying to live as a kid in grade school, and you got all these bullies and crazy shit like that. There's just a lot going on. I'm feeling all of it. What you think, bro?
Yeah, I mean, you just said everything that happened in the episode. I feel like, but yeah,
that's super summer.
It was, but yeah, no, I agree. Like it's really good storytelling, and then them trying to like pay attention to the small details and being or capturing like an authentic experience of what these kids probably had to deal with during that time. Along with the fact that there's a monster eating the kids. So I thought it was really good. I did like the story. I did like these perspectives from these various Black men. Mm-hmm. You have 3 Black men, and mainly, you have one who's kind of like being used as like our magical Negro and by the military.
You talking about the major? You're talking about the actual Dick Halloran.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's like the magical Negro.
Yeah, he is. He's the magical Negro, and he's being used by the military here. Yeah. And then you have one who's a major who's also being used by the military as well, but made to feel like he's needed, but instead of being used, but that's really what he is. And then their family, his family dynamic also. And then you have this other man as well. Like all these different ways of showing the differences between these characters,
Yeah, and they were kind of like all in different stages of life, socioeconomic status in life. But yeah, I liked all those characters though.
Yeah, I couldn't remember his name, but I was talking about Mr. Grogan.
Yep, Mr. Grogan, Ronnie's dad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and then anyways, so that episode really touched on all 3 aspects that these Black men are dealing with in various ways, and then obviously there's 2 Black children in this show as well who found themselves together in detention.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And they're very different, but they're also kind of like on 2 different sides of the tracks in a way, you know what I'm saying? And like, but they have one thing in common, and that's the fact that they're Black and dealing with racist white people.
Yep. Exactly.
Something that brings them together. And then poor Lily, she went through this one.
Lily went through it.
Episode as well. It's really interesting with her character, right? Like she was used by the chief, in order to kind of like sell out Ronnie's dad, Mr. What's his name again? Mr. Grogan. It's a very odd name, so that's why I keep
Grogan
forgetting it.
Grogu.
To pin the missing children on him, and so now she's back in the place that she didn't want to go to. The one thing that the chief used to keep her from going there, and because she has this crazy experience with Pennywise in the grocery store, now she ends up going right back to it again. But yeah, again, going back to the writing, like there's this one scene where Leroy is on the porch, right? He act like he'd been there for a long time, but really he'd been on for like 2 seconds. And when Charlotte and Will arrive, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's like, "Are you sure it's okay to be here or whatever?" And he goes, "Well, take it up with JFK because of the house." Because at the time, you know, in 1961, they had passed the Housing Act. And so, like, you know what I'm saying? Like we were talking about earlier, like paying attention to the details of what's happening in that time period.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like, well, if it's not okay for us to be here, it's too bad because it's law. Bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay for me to be here type of thing.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
But yeah, like there's a lot happening in this episode. Marge, her ass, she's doing the most to try to fit in with these patty cakes.
Yeah.
Like,
yep. That's why I was telling the whole episode. I was like, literally, just forget this. Like, tell her. You don't gotta be my friend no more. Just go be with the patty cakes. I like what Lily said to her when she was like,
about the kids being dead.
She's like, so and so is dead. This? Like, I don't care about the stupid patty cakes.
This is not important anymore.
Yeah, that was dope. I like that delivery.
Yeah, and also like when Ronnie comes back to school, so her grandma, she's like, she's gonna go back to that school with her head held high, and the way she walks in obviously reminds me of like when the picture of Ruby Bridges when she first came to school was the only Black child. When
I'm sure that's what they were going for.
Oh man, I was like, dang, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah,
I think when we kind of talked about this as we were watching the episode, that I was very surprised by just the presence of Black characters, and
there's literally the main characters are Black and their stories are main stage right now.
Yeah, it was really cool to see. I just was not expecting that. And I was like, wow, like we saw the trailers, but since the first episode, didn't really dig into these characters yet. Like we really got the full plate. Yeah. The full buffet for these characters in this episode. Full buffet, so I was like, whoa, like I just didn't realize just how significant a lot of the Black characters are, and so I just thought it was really cool to see, all this Black love on screen in terms of with all these performers and their stories. I just thought it was like super dope.
Yeah. Now let's talk. I guess we could talk about the scare sequences because we have two major ones. Yes. And this one, the first one, I think was super crazy.
That one with Ronnie was crazy.
And I'm like, okay, first of all, I have to say this, but like, what is these people's obsession with birthing?
They love births.
Because we have a whole nother birthing sequence. But yeah, so she's like you were saying earlier, right? Like the clown or Pennywise, he thrives off the fear of others, right? Like
he loves
tries to scare you with the fear, with what you're afraid of. Obviously, she's lost her mom, and I think that that missing presence is there mostly in this episode, right? Yeah. Because like it's just a grandma and the dad, and they both have differing, feelings and way of raising a kid, and how Ronnie should approach what's happening with her dad. And then, they show the picture. Because at first I was like, what happened to her mom? But then we get this sequence, right? So she's sleeping and then the bed starts moving like a heartbeat.
Yeah, because she had put the sheet over her head first. And then the heartbeat of the bed started to happen.
And then the stuff starts, then she's trying to, move the sheet. And then that reminded me of Nightmare on Elm Street because it seems similar to that. But yeah, so like, it changes.
She starts moving it and it starts to transition.
It makes it seem stomach. like she's inside of a womb. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. But yeah, and then she actually bursts out of the sheets.
Rips the skin open.
Like she's coming out of the birthing canal. And I like that scene too, because like it's funny but scary at the same time. Cause like, there's humor in there in that as well. And the way that the mom is looking at her and like, you ripped me open.
Yeah, well,
she tore me up,
Yeah, but her delivery was like subtle. It was also just like demented.
It was super crazy.
You ripped me open.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was nasty.
And
looking.
then when she came out, she's covered in like this mucus
amniotic fluid stuff.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and she still had the umbilical cord attached.
She did again. I'm like, y'all really like this crap for some reason.
It's very effective.
And she bites off the cord, so because he's like, come to mommy.
The stomach, because she actually ripped out of her stomach, and the stomach turned into like a monster mouth. Yeah, and started pulling the umbilical cord back in like a daggone towing cable. And then she's had to post up on her feet on the bed, starts biting the cord to break free, and then she like slid back. Like I thought that was funny.
It was crazy. And obviously she starts screaming because the mom gets up.
She stands up.
Starts moving like Pennywise does. Yeah. When the dad comes in, I like this because when he grabs her, he tells her she's safe. Like, he told her that, earlier in the episode, he's like, I want her to be safe to the grandma. And then, he's bringing this up again. So I think, this dad who's left to raise up this black daughter in the 1960s, what I'm saying? More than anything, he wants her to feel safe.
That's the key.
Yeah. And I thought that was
and it's
really
given
cool.
the climate, that's one of the arguments that he was saying to his mom. He's like, look, like, where we at? What's going on? Like, the time, essentially, right. Like, yeah. So yeah, he just wants her to feel safe.
Yeah. And then at first I thought the chief might have been a cool dude, but
oh no.
I was really reminded.
They was watching his house in the beginning of the episode.
In this episode, that he is not a good man at all. But yeah, he was watching Mr. Grogan's house.
It seems like maybe he was trying to be to some slight sliver of a degree.
And then
but he got the pressure from the people in the
pressure
town.
From the council.
Hey, you want to still be chief?
Yeah.
You better go lock that person up.
But then
we got to pin this on somebody.
What really made it for me was the fact that he made the hollering guy and his friends leave the bar. Because I was like, why is he making them leave the bar?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I don't know. It seems very racist to me.
Yeah. But
I know they have like the little
my thing was,
curfew thing or whatever.
Well, I guess my thing is like, if he is so racist, why did he even have...
That's what I'm saying. I'm conflicted. I don't really understand.
Like to me, in my opinion, he would have already been arrested, this dude. But he seemed like he was like, well, we don't have no convincing evidence that he's actually there. So I'm surprised it isn't, now it seems like after all these other elements, then he was like, well, I'll just create the scenario to get this person arrested.
Well, yeah.
So like you said, I can't really tell.
I'm really
what he was trying.
Well, now he don't really care, I guess, because he definitely was threatened by the council.
Yeah, he don't care.
Now that second scare sequence, we kind of touched on that, is when Lily is in the grocery store, and as she's walking, she starts to hear voices, like people calling her crazy, and then she turns down a couple different aisles, and to the point where she can't get out anymore. Like, it's as she's walking, people are like,
I love that,
poking around the corner, like looking at her.
Pennywise joint.
Yeah. And it's so creepy. And people are staring at her, and eventually
whispering all this craziness.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And even like the aisle things are moving, like the aisle shelves are moving behind her.
That was cool.
And when she gets to this area where she's blocked off, she notices the kids, her friends, faces are on the cereal boxes.
It said like Pennywise's cornflakes or something like that.
It was so crazy.
Yeah,
and
cool.
Then eventually she turns around and it's nothing but pickle jars.
Pickles.
Everywhere.
Tommy pickles.
And then she sees her dad's face cut up in slices now.
Remember her dad got caught in that machine and got
talking
up.
to her. This is crazy. He was
come
like,
give daddy a kiss.
Yeah. I was like, oh my goodness. Can you imagine how terrifying that was?
Yeah.
So she breaks the jar, and that's when she realizes her ass is actually still in the store.
Well, before that, you had called what they're going to turn him into. He was like, oh, it's going to be like an octopus. And sure enough, like his head formed like some weird octopus.
It was so
thing.
disgusting.
And the tentacle came out of the other jar, wrapped her head and mouth up.
Those effects were super well
done.
They
were great.
It looked slimy and disgusting, like, like a pickle would look like. It was just nasty.
It looked really good.
And then they like wrapped around her neck and went inside her mouth. I was like, ew. I bet you that tastes like disgusting pickles.
I'm sure it was like super nasty.
But yeah, so and that's how she ends up getting sent back. The mom's,
dropped her tail right on off. Yeah. And those people look creepy too that she got dropped off with. They look really weird.
All right. Also in this episode, like we mentioned earlier, that Dick Halloran is kind of like the military's messiah in a way, being used for his gifts.
Yep.
And when he goes out with those dudes, he gets a little drunk.
Yep, got a little drunk.
And he uses his special privileges to get back on the base.
Yep.
And so the guy the next day is like, we're going to take those special privileges away from your ass.
He's like, you're taking too long to find what we need.
Right. You're taking too long to find what we need. And we're probably dragging this out. You know what I'm saying? That's what the guy was inferring.
Yeah.
So
he was like, we close.
Yeah. So at the end of this episode, they pull out this old T model type car out of the ground, and there's bodies like
maybe
skeletons.
Soldiers or something. Maybe?
They look like they were soldiers, but I couldn't tell. I couldn't really tell.
Yeah,
I couldn't see that well. Maybe if y'all had have any idea of what these people might have been or done or whatever. But yeah, they pull out this car out of the ground, and then that's when he goes like, "We're close."
Now, one thing we definitely got to mention is something you called was that when the major got beat up in the first episode, he was like, "Oh, it's probably a test or something," and it got revealed this episode.
It was actually,
and he was like, "See, test. I told you," and I was like, "Yeah, you was right."
I really like this because the major is
the pinnacle of morality.
He's so freaking like on it when it comes to what's right and what's wrong.
Oh, he's on
Any other person probably would just let this go, let that guy rot in jail because of what he did to him. But he knows that this guy didn't do what, they think he did.
Right.
So he went to go visit him. Well, first he went to go see the general, right? And he asked him about the gun that was used.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, was it Makarov PM?"
And the guy was like, "Yeah."
He's like, "Yeah, what?"
But see, he didn't know that the major knows how to use that gun.
I told you that too. I was like, yeah, he's saying that because he is.
Because I was asking, I was like,
else.
So what is why did he ask that question?
Yeah, because he knows something.
So we figure out why he asked that question because he takes his own whatever this
Makarov
called
PM
to go visit Masters in the jail, and he basically puts the gun in front of him, trying to see if he's able to use it.
And like
apparently it's really hard to use this gun. And he explains all this to him. He's like, even people who are trained Korean professionals
ain't good at doing
it that well. And he was like, I pulled your file. He was like, I know you can barely put an M16.
Yeah, he was like, pushing his buttons to try to get him aggravated so he could pick the gun
and
up.
He picked it up and couldn't even put it all the way together to where
and he was like, that's what I thought.
Like
He just took the gun from his hands. Thank you.
Yep. Now I can go ahead and make my case. And he did. He went to go see the general. And then he was like, I'm going to file my report and let them know that they got the wrong guy type thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay. All right. I'll tell you.
Okay,
I'll tell you.
You're right. You were right.
It was a test. And I was like, yes, I called it.
You called it.
I called it. Because they kept asking him the question, like, how do you, like, how does this work? Or whatever they were asking about the plane. I was like, there's the only reason, why would Masters care about that?
Yeah.
He wouldn't. And I was like, so I thought it was a test. But then it made us feel like it wasn't. And I was like, well,
yeah, because I was like, oh, maybe he was trying to get him in trouble. So I felt like that was one way to do it. It's like, oh, he gave up these secrets. So
anyways, I was right. It was a test.
It was a test.
And now he's in on the inside.
He's on the inside.
They brought him in on the inside. But I'm like, why did he have to wait for him to come at him to do that? Why not just go ahead and bring him in?
Right.
But anyways, he was basically told him that they were looking for somebody who doesn't have a fear or is not afraid.
Yeah, because Pennywise thing works off fear. So he's like,
fear.
Okay, you don't seem like you really got fear. So you might be able to get close enough
to get us the stuff we need. Yeah.
Yep. So that's pretty
they're
cool.
going to be using him too.
I like that.
I feel like it's crazy to me that all the men that they're using to do this shit is all black dudes.
Because we're the ultimate.
No, it's not why. They using them because they don't want to use white folks out there because they know they're going to get killed.
Oh, man. Nah, they ain't going to get killed.
But no, we are. We are. But I think that's all the notes I wanted to really cover on this. I will say these kids are acting their asses off. Ronnie, when they take her daddy, she do not play.
She did great.
She did not wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes. She didn't fall out on the ground and cry. She went right over to Lily's house, banging on her door. She was like, where's she at?
Yeah, she was not playing at all.
Oh, we didn't talk about Charlotte. Charlotte also came into this, the episode this time as well.
Yep.
And I also really love her because, she's this upstanding military wife and, she's making sacrifices.
Carries herself well, everything.
Career. And then she comes to this town she's never been to, obviously. And then there's this dinner scene where we kind of, because after, she goes out kind of like, scoping out the area type thing. She ends up seeing these boys bullying this other kid.
Yeah.
And she steps in and she tells her husband about it and her son at the dinner table. And they're both like, why are you doing that? Like, calm down. You need this. Don't be doing stuff like that.
Yep.
And he kind of like, hints at the fact that she's done this kind of stuff before.
She's at Shreveport.
She's right. She's always kind of like, because he said
getting involved. Essentially what he said.
Sitting places where they don't want you. And I'm thinking of it as like she's probably protested and stuff like that. And I find that Ronnie and Charlotte, because now Ronnie, she's standing up for her dad. She knows that he didn't commit this crime.
Yeah. And
not only that, but when she's talking to Lily about choosing, hey, like, that this is wrong, but you're not being clear about my father being there or not being there. And even when she goes to, her house, she's like, he didn't do this.
Right.
You need to do the right thing, even if it causes
you
harm.
Yep.
Because you're doing what's right.
Yep.
Charlotte, I think she's also very much the same way. Right? She didn't think about what other people might have thought in that moment. She only thought about what's right. She didn't think about the fact that this child, she don't know who this child is. Like, I've just never been in this town before, but I know what's right and what's wrong. Right. And both of these women are standing up for what's right, but labeled as you're doing too much. Because even us watching, I was like, oh Lord.
Yeah, like, I was like, damn, she's getting involved. Now it's gonna create problems.
Yes, like
But see, that's why I like how well written the characters are, because for Leroy, for the major, it's like you see where he's coming from too, right? 'Cause he's like, hey, I don't want you getting involved with stuff because you can get taken out and there will be no recourse, and now we don't have you anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Just given the state of the times, I think that's why it's cool, because you can understand both sides. Where the husband's like, hey, don't be doing too much, because like I just want it to be peaceful so we can live here peaceful, because we got a kid and I don't want things to happen to you or to the kid. So he's playing the provider role. So I think it's I think he's also a well-written character.
I get that.
Yeah, I think
but I also
important.
Understand Charlotte as well.
Yeah.
And even more so now, this is completely off subject, y'all, but when we recently watched that documentary about the perfect neighbor, that woman could have very easily been like, I'm not going to say nothing or do anything. I'm just not going to go against the gram. I'm not going to do anything because whatever, because she might be afraid of the repercussions. But she's trying to teach her child what's right and what's wrong. Yeah. And what that lady was doing was wrong. Yes, it cost her life, but she was doing what she had to do as a mother to protect her child and to stand up and show him, like, I'm not going to let anyone ever mistreat you. So when he becomes a grown man, he's not going to let nobody mistreat him.
Right.
That's what Charlotte is doing as well. Like, she's trying to show her son, because that's who she's with most of the time, because the daddy is always off doing his job. But also what she knows in her heart is what is right. You know what I'm saying? And also showing her son that, yes, when you got to be on the right side of whatever situation might arise. But what also gets me is the fact that he is such a moral man that he wouldn't understand her plight for certain
but
things.
Remember, he's moral, but his family comes first.
Correct.
So as a provider, he's thinking about big picture, right? So he doesn't just think in the moment. He's thinking, okay, what will be the product or the result of this action? So if she does do something and she gets killed, just for pure example, right? Yes, she might have been doing the right thing, but now that son has to grow up with no mother for the rest of his entirety of his life. She will no longer see him be able to grow up and graduate from high school, go to college. He's a smart kid.
I get all that.
he might be a scientist or astronaut one day, and his mom will never get to see that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the husband, the father, understands that, so he understands, hey, it's wrong for him to do that. But I also understand that there's ways that we can try to go around these situations instead of acting within the moment, where we can have clear. Yeah, you can have clear thought. Okay. Because after the fact, she could, just for pure example, after that moment, this is not like they're going to kill this boy. They were just bullying him. After, there could have been some sort of a political or, council involvement or township meeting or something like that.
She was talking about the individual. She was like, boys will be boys what about boys will be kind? So she's trying to teach her son that boys will be boys is not a good thing to live by.
Hey,
because if that's the case, then these boys will grow up and become the most craziest people, because they've been taught that
I disagree, because even if she never got involved that day, she can still go home and teach her son right from wrong. Look how smart Will is.
Okay, well,
he's smart as hell.
I think she was also doing that because no one else was stepping in on behalf of that boy.
Right. Yeah. So I'm saying, now I get it from a mother. She's a mother, right? She's like, oh, that was my kid. I want somebody to step in.
Exactly.
But I'm saying that she doesn't have to get involved in that moment to be able to teach Will
not
right
that
from
moment,
wrong.
But I was just talking about in general about. I'm assuming the things he referenced to. That's at the dinner.
Well, yeah. Obviously, for the husband, he's like, hey, look, I understand you're okay with being a martyr, but I don't want you to be. You know what I'm saying? I want you in my life still. I want you to be around. I want you to be around for my kid. The dad is thinking long vision term. You know what I'm saying? He's So some people don't mind being the martyr, you know what I'm saying? But he's like, I don't want you to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because he is, his goal, his job is to take care and provide for his family.
Right.
So whatever that means, that's what Leroy gonna do. I think that. So yes, he is extremely moral, but it's very apparent that his family, it comes first. You know what I'm saying? That's why what he say, oh, I want to live off the base because I want to give them like a better feeling of home, and you know, that is a very important thing to him. You know what I'm saying? Now he might not always be present just due to his job, but even him, like, hey, what's a good gift that we can get him as we introduce him to this house in the neighborhood? Oh, get him this telescope, you know, stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like he is the provider. You know what I mean? Like that's what he do.
I get that.
But yeah, I mean, like that's what I'm saying. Ultimately, that's what I'm saying. I think these characters are very well written because of those elements.
Well, yeah, and I also think that whatever's happening is probably going to bring the two of them together, him and Will, because obviously they don't connect with each other.
Yeah, because they're two different people.
You know,
even he's the military
makes a
guy.
joke about, oh, we can spy on the neighbors, and Will's like, why would we?
That's
do that?
not right. Yeah, he's like, I think that's wrong. He's like, oh yeah, I guess you're right. I was just joking. Don't worry about it. I was just joking anyway. Don't even worry about it.
I'm assuming that like this might bring them together.
Yeah, absolutely.
To have something common
absolutely.
to deal with. But yeah, anyways, either way, I do really like the characters.
Yeah, the characters are great. I love the characters like a lot.
Yeah.
Like that's what's really drawn me into the show is the characters, and they're well written. I love the dialogue. I love the performances. It's just a fun show.
Yeah.
But now we did get the trailer, just like with the other ones. We got that trailer at the end that shows the teases the next episode.
Oh, did it?
You sat there and watched it with me.
What was it? What was
That's when they showed. Dang, I literally had it. Now I forgot. But obviously, because it showed. Remember, he was like, "Oh, Dick Halloran needs to go in the air." And remember, it looks like the Major is going to fly. Halloran in the air, and it looks like Halloran was getting a lot of different visions from maybe way in the past, when like in the circus time frame. Because I don't really know what that storyline is exactly. It seems like there's some sort of Pennywise circus or whatever back in the day. He's gonna see that, and it also looked like Halloran might have been having other visions involving the kids. Obviously, the kids were coming together in the next episode too. So it looks like it's gonna get just a little bit, even more deeper into it. But I'm excited because each episode we're getting closer to, I feel like, more full force.
Yeah, I'm also I don't hate to hope a kid gets hurt, but it's a show. I kind of hope some kids do got while the man is in jail.
Oh, I think that will happen.
Yeah,
I'm 100% sure that will. It might not be a main person, but somebody will. I don't think it's gonna
be anytime soon either, because it seems like he's still got to go to the prison, like the Shawshank prison.
Oh yeah, he was in there because there was that scene where he made a comment to him like, "Oh, like you know what they do to child killers here or something." Oh, Shawshank. Oh, remember in the trailer there was the Shawshank bus. That's right.
They're gonna come take him.
So they might take him. Yeah. But yeah, obviously we're pretty big on the show. I'm loving the show so far. I'm very excited for episode 3. Come out next weekend. I think it's 8 episodes of these. So
it's 8 or 9. I can't remember.
Something like that. So yeah, and if they keep being this length too, we're getting a lot of story, a lot of character development.
Most of them are somewhere between it. It's like I know there are a couple ones that are a little bit under an hour. Yeah. But then there are some a little bit over.
Super dope, man. But ultimately we're hyped for it. But that's our thoughts for episode 2. What was it? The Thing in the Dark?
The Thing in the Dark.
The Thing in the Dark for It Welcome to Derry. Let us know down in the comments. What do you think about the second episode? Is it working for you? Are you getting more invested? What do you predict will happen as we go through with episode 3 and beyond? It looks like they're changing some things from what I hear from the novel. We don't know nothing about the novel. We just know the movie. So for us personally, the show is working, but maybe for y'all that are like super fans of, all Stephen King's interconnected universe and the books, maybe y'all feel a little bit different. So let us know your thoughts in the comments and how things maybe changed or different from the books. Make sure you check out the rest of our channel. Recently did for Halloween, we did a short film that we have fun making. It's over on our YouTube channel, and of course we got our reviews and stuff on the channel and podcast channels as well. Thank you to all of our supporters, whether you're a Patreon or YouTube member, or whether you're just watching to the end of these videos and liking and sharing. We appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe and follow us, and we see you in the next one because we out, y'all. Peace.